The book of Ezekiel is one of the most vivid, intense, and at times overwhelming books in all of Scripture. It was written in a very dark moment in Israel's history, the Babylonian exile. This was a time when God's people lost their land, they lost the temple, and really they lost much of their hope. Yet, woven throughout Ezekiel's visions and throughout his warnings is a surprising and a powerful theme, which is joy. Now, joy is certainly not a present emotion throughout Ezekiel's prophecy that we read in the book, but there would come a time where joy could be found in the promises of many of Ezekiel's prophecies. Ezekiel himself was a priest turned into a prophet living there among the exiles in Babylon. His ministry begins around the year 593 BC, just years before Jerusalem would be completely destroyed. From the very beginning of the book, Ezekiel is he's given a vision of God's glory. This vision was majestic. It was probably very terrifying. What Ezekiel sees proves that God is mobile. He's not confined to just the temple in Jerusalem. And this is the first hint of joy in the book of Ezekiel. Even in exile, God is still present with his people. Now, the first half of the book of Ezekiel, the first 24 chapters, contain prophecies of judgment against the nation of Judah. These can certainly be some difficult passages to work through, as is the rest of the book. These passages are filled with symbolic acts, warnings, and descriptions of the destruction that was coming to Jerusalem. But over and over again, God repeats a phrase throughout the book. Then they will know that I am the Lord. And that phrase is key. Even in judgment, God's purpose was not cruelty. His purpose was to reveal himself and his power to all people, not just the people of Israel, but all nations of the world. It's as if God is trying to reestablish a truth in his people who had turned to these idols. They had turned to their own ways. And I believe there's joy to be found here. Although God's people seem to have abandoned him, God has not abandoned his people to just live in chaos. He's actively working to bring them back to himself. We can find joy in knowing that God's actions are purposeful, his actions are measured, and ultimately his actions are redemptive. In chapters 25 through 32, Ezekiel turns his attention to the surrounding nations. The nations of Ammon, Moab, Edom, Philistia, Tyre, Sidon, and Egypt. And these nations had rejoiced over Israel's fall, or they had acted in pride or in violence. But God declares judgment on these nations as well. And at first glance, this may not seem joyful, but for the exiles, this could have been very comforting for them. It meant that evil, no matter who it comes from, does not go unnoticed. And it lets them know that injustice will not prevail forever. There is joy in knowing that God is not only merciful, but he's also just. The same God who disciplines his people also holds the surrounding nations just as accountable. And this restores balance to a broken world. It reassures God's people that righteousness always wins. And we want to be on the side that wins, which is ultimately God's side. And that's what he wants his people to see. The tone of the book really shifts dramatically in chapters 33 through the end of the book in chapter 48. After Jerusalem falls, Ezekiel's message really changes focus. It turns from warning to hope. And one of the most powerful images comes in Ezekiel chapter 37, one that is probably the most familiar in the book, the vision of the valley of dry bones. Ezekiel sees a field of lifeless bones, people who have been dead for quite some time. And these dry bones represent Israel in exile. They're cut off, they're hopeless, they're spiritually dead. But then God does something. He breathes life into them. Bones start to come together. Muscle and flesh forms around these bones. Breath enters in to these bodies. A vast army that was dead just moments ago stands up full of life. And this is one of the clearest pictures of joy to me in the entire book. God can bring life out of death. No matter how far gone things may seem, no matter how far gone people may seem, God still has power to bring life back to them. We certainly see this out of God's people in this point in history. They are as good as dead, but God's going to be able to breathe life back into these people. Perhaps the most heartbreaking moment in all of the book of Ezekiel, it comes early on when the glory of God departs from the temple in chapter 10. The sin of the people drove God's presence from the temple. That's how bad things had become in the nation, even there in the temple, to the point where they drove God's presence away. But in those final chapters of the book, chapters 40 through 48, Ezekiel sees a vision of a new temple. And when he sees this vision, the glory of God returns. This is really the climax of joy in the book of Ezekiel. Things are being made new again. The final verse gives the new name of this city that's being described in these final chapters of Ezekiel. And the name of that city is Yahweh Shammah, meaning the Lord is there. And if God is there, that's where I want to be. I hope that's where you want to be, in the presence of God. God promises here that he would be with his people again. And eventually the people would get to return to Judah. They'll get to rebuild the walls and the temple there in Jerusalem. Zerubbabel, Ezra, and Nehemiah would lead the way back home for these people who had lived in exile. But if you read through the end of Ezekiel, the place that Ezekiel describes is more than just a promise of the people getting to return home from exile one day. The place Ezekiel describes is very similar to what John describes in the book of Revelation. A place where the presence of God dwells. The Lord is there. A place where God's people long to be. And if you can't find joy in the promise of a future in the presence of God before his throne, then I don't think you can really find joy in anything. The book of Ezekiel is undeniably a heavy book. It deals with a lot of great things: sin, judgment, destruction. It's very vivid, and it deals with these things in sometimes some very unsettling ways. But I hope that through it all, you're able to see this message of hope and joy all throughout the book of Ezekiel.